One thing I think is fascinating, COP21 didn't even talk about agriculture really. I mean, agriculture is, what is it, about a third of GHGs as well. And it was almost, and a quote I stole from Forbes, so it is Forbes, is that they were snowblind, they were blind to the ramifications of the food chain as well. With what you just said about what's going on in September, and of course COP26 in Glasgow later on as well, do you think that blindness about the impact of food and food systems, that's gone away now? We've actually learned a lot more in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. And I think you're seeing it across geographies. So if you look at the EU Green Deal, is very much looking from farm to fork. How do we embed the agricultural space, the food space, into the footprint of society and climate? So this is definitely now coming true. And I think one of the key actions that is going to be pushed at COP26 is for every country to embed in their targets the agricultural space. Now, there's a very understandable reason why this was very difficult at first. It's because the food space is not a few big companies or corporations. It's millions of farmers. It's millions of families. And therefore, it's a very broad-reaching area. But on the other hand, with the innovations that are coming through, whether it be carbon sequestration, some of the technologies around agriculture, about livestock, and we can come back on that, there are many things where you can actually turn the farming community into the heroes of helping fix climate change and at the same time be better off. So there's a great opportunity, and that's what's nice in that space. It's packed with opportunity.
Geraldine, when I hear a lot of this, though, what I'm hearing is costs are going to rise in this sector as agriculture is forced to meet green targets imposed on it externally. Are we ultimately looking at then much higher food prices down the track here? And we know what impact that has on poorer communities.
Well, that's a very fair question. I mean, of course, a lot of people have looked into that, but I think one of the more recent studies is actually from BCG that looked at an end-to-end decarbonization of the food system and estimates that that would lead to a 4% increase in the food basket. Now, 4% is not nothing, especially on lower incomes, but it is not unmanageable. And I believe that not all innovations have been taken into account when doing those estimates. What we have found with a lot of change is that it's expensive at first, and then when you break through, it makes economic sense. And if you look here at, for instance, the switching in agricultural practices from tilling to no-tilling or from crop cover, you realize that it took a bit of help in order to get started. But once you get started, you get the benefit of better productivity of the ground, of the soil. And at the same time, you're addressing some of the causes of the greenhouse gas emissions, and you can sequester carbon. So it's always going through the curve, which is the challenge. And this is why we all need to work together end to end to make sure that the interest of the consumer, which is very strong on making sure that the food that they're consuming is sustainably produced, is actually leading to value across the whole chain of the food system. And that's where the biggest step needs to happen.